So today on Project Shop we have this old, I'm gonna say antique looking piece of transfer switch. I believe this came off a generator. Looks to have a ton of copper, bus bars, wire, and tabs. Okay, it's got buttons. Not really sure. Oh, look at that. We'll keep that. Got a little flathead set screw. Now, before we get into that, I want to do a little mail call. We got some things in here. One came in right on time from a subscriber. I really appreciate it. And being that this thing is all flatheads, we have a complete set of 4 different size flatheads. We're probably going to be using that big boy right there. We will definitely be putting these to use. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of them, but we do use these all the time. And another thing we got, look at that, a new GoPro, thanks to an awesome person. Now, this is the state of this is my original GoPro. Okay, it's missing the side button. It's missing the whole cover. The battery just kind of comes in and out. This one does, I am running the wide angle lens that was not cheap. That does have some scratches in it from falling and hitting the ground. These things have definitely been through some stuff to bring you guys some decent content. I do put these things in harm's way sometimes. This was my first GoPro. I think this is a 9 or an 8. Or this might be a 9 and this is a 10. I'm not sure. I think it says it on it. Yeah, this is a 9 black. And then this is a 10 black. Now this is the second GoPro I bought. This one's also missing a button. This one's missing both buttons. And the whole entire back screen is smashed and missing pieces. So it's definitely time. Let's see what we got here. GoPro 12 black. We don't need boxes where we're going. Okay. Camera must be updated. Blah, blah, blah. Instructions. Wow, they don't give you a charging port. They just give you a thing. We do have a new one of these, which is nice. A thing. A little doohickey. And then the actual camera itself, which looks to be speckled. The camera must be updated. Hopefully, they've fixed the issue of them overheating. I highly doubt it. Oh, but we got a nice clear lens. I'm gonna go get a SIM card. We got a white battery, so we got another extra battery. Yeah, it's got a speckled paint job on it. Now, looking at this, it really looks no different from the 10, except for the speckled paint job. So I think they're literally probably just, unless they've upgraded. Oh, you know what they did do? That's new. So now I can just screw that right onto my camera thing. That's nice. All right, let me go get a thing for this. Okay. We got an SD card. Almost feels lighter. I don't know. Turn it on. For those of you who don't know, the Quick app, it's actually really nice because you could set this camera up somewhere, right? And then you can, you know, if it's, you can't see the camera or see through the camera, you can actually bring up the video on the phone, and it works really nice. Now while that's updating, we're going to get set up on this, and as soon as this thing's ready to go, we'll start using this and see how far we get with it. I'm going to go charge this battery up. Okay, while that's doing its thing, we're going to dive right in now. We're going to utilize our newly acquired flatheads. These are nice because they just slide down over a thing. I don't know what that was for. We got some red knobs now, and probably some black knobs. Dang, that looks like wood. Okay, here we go. We're shooting with the GoPro now. Now this thing here is pretty interesting. Let's just give a walk around. Oh, let's weigh this real quick. This thing is extremely heavy. This thing is way heavier than it looks. And with my bad arm and with my pulled muscle, I really shouldn't be lifting this thing up. We're not going to worry about the buttons at the moment. But this thing is a beast. Whoa! Alright, just in case y'all thought I was a sissy, this thing's coming in at about 82 pounds. So it is no joke. Oh, shoot. Let's start by disconnecting them from each other with these bus bars. We might save that hardware. We already got copper nuggets. Nice. Nice copper bus bar. I'm gonna get me a little bucket for all the copper nuggets. Now this stuff here, this stuff looks to be silver coated. I'm gonna have to get me a little jar for all this hardware, except for these. We don't save flatheads around here. We're gonna send that right with the prepared steel. For now, I'm gonna throw the hardware in my newly acquired box. That'll be the goodie box. Okay, we'll put our knobs in there. Okay. Insulators. 150 degrees Celsius. Not sure what that equals, but all right, now we're going to switch over to our big fat flathead and just start taking this stuff. Wow, that's long. And that is steel, so I need a prepared bucket. I don't know what that is. Oh, big old spacer. That's a magnet right here. Okay, that's steel, but I'll keep that. Interesting. That literally looks like a piece of wood or fiberglass. Okay, now we have Phillips. You know what? Let me get both of these down to like the same. That way we can do everything at once. No. Gotta go to the small one. Oh no. Almost lost our set screw. Okay. Now, whatever these are, it's non-magnetic. Looks to be just aluminum. Okay. I don't know, that's pretty heavy. Huh. It's brass. Okay. So we'll have to break those off. Interesting. These things are heavy, man. This plastic stuff. We'll just set this aside for a second. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Uh-oh. I might need to break out the big screwdriver. Okay. Okay. Just a spring-loaded doohickey. It had a red button, so maybe it's some kind of disconnect. I don't know. All right. Now, we do have some small wires. I'm just going to clip them. This looks to be some type of transformer right here. Okay. Alrighty. So we got another screw underneath, and this thing is connected by a spring. More prepared steel. Looks like a contact switch with brass screws on it. That's cool. I might keep those. 15 amp, 480 volt, half an amp, 125 volt, quarter amp, 250 volt, AC, DC. Huh. Interesting. Oh! So, this was some type of solenoid. Looks like it's riveted together. But it looks like we got a coil of copper here. We'll set that aside for later processing. Prepared steel. Okay. Now, let's see about I thought they were going to be copper. That's prepared steel. Look at these big contacts though, man. It's like this will come off. Oh! Spring loaded. Dag, look at that big old chunk of copper. And some big boy silver contacts. Okay. We're getting somewhere. A little spring, I'll save a couple of those. Wow. That is a heavy chunk of copper there. Wow, look at the where them things were making contact and arcing. Interesting. Nice chunks of copper though. Okay. Seems like the rest of this thing is just going to be the mechanical. I don't know how much more copper is going to be down below. Let me go get a big screwdriver. See if we can't bust these loose. Oh, this is taking I have to put a wrench on it. Okay, those I believe have a nut on the bottom. We might have to do them in secondary. Okay, those look like brass screws. We'll just crack them loose. Okay. Wow. Big nugget of copper and a big old chunk of silver. Look how big that chunk of silver is. At the rate we're going, we'll definitely be able to pour a big old piece of silver. Unfortunately, I thought that was a brass screw. It's magnetic. Copper spacer. I had a bunch of big copper spacers the other day. This stuff is prepared, it's like heavily magnetic. Okay, now, I'm not really sure beyond that how much, if any, more copper. Oh! Looks like we got a big old transformer back here. Let's see. There's wires out of here. Looks like that's just some type of paper. That's brass. You might have to drill them out. I don't know if it's going to be really worth it. We'll set them to the side with the other pieces of brass. What do we got here? Look, that other one just popped right off. Oh, there it is. All these inserts are prepared steel. All right. Definitely lightened it up a little bit. It's still extremely heavy. Go ahead and cut all this wire out of here. Just be done with it. Number 2 insulate. And then just more. That looks like aluminum. Let me get a drill. Oh, this one just popped out. Okay, I guess we don't need a drill. Feels kind of heavy, but it is aluminum. All right, what else we got here? Another switch. And what looks to be a big old transformer on the back side. Not exactly sure that's going to come out too easy. Another contact switch or momentary switch, whatever you want to call it. Man, this thing's got a ton of hardware. I don't necessarily think it all has to come out. Call that prepared steel. Okay, now we can get to the big screws. I don't know if this is going to do it. I'm going to need to get an even bigger flathead. All right. That's one. All right. What do we got here? Looks like a brass screw, but probably not, considering everything else. Steel. Prepared. The whole thing looks like it's brass. Maybe. Let's check it before we go any further. Nope. It's whole plate. This was 225 amps, 600 volts. Wow. 277 VAC per pole tungsten. We got tungsten in here. I'll put that plate right with the prepared. Now let's see what we have. Another switch. This is probably not necessary. Oh, nice. Look at that big old nugget there. I don't know how we're gonna get that apart. It's like it's got old school rivets holding it together. Is that copper? Yep. Little copper clips. Oh, came right apart. Big old chunk of number 2 copper. I'll send that just the way it is. That's all prepared steel. This thing here, except for this switch. The only reason I'm pulling the switch is we want the contacts. Okay, so that whole piece right there is prepared. Looks to be stainless steel. Okay. All this stuff go right in the prepared bucket. I'll keep some of these washers. And then we just need to take this one down. Okay, that GoPro finally got hot and shut off. It lasted a while. I don't know how long, but it seemed like it did pretty good. We almost got through the whole video. So this is the GoPro 10 with the cracked back screen. Let's just continue on. Flathead. Flathead. Now the contact switches, I will process one day, but not right now. So we're just gonna weigh them up as like shred. Because I know that's what I could get for them. Okay. Prepared steel. And then, I wonder if those other transformers will come apart like this. little bits of copper. Someone keeps driving by my shop. Always suspect when people creep by, you know? Oh yeah. Stainless. Oh. This one was different. This one had a rubber piece. Nice. Look at that. Paired. Now, let's see if we can't get these nuggets out. More stainless. Oh man, look at that. Nuggets are just falling out, man. These are the easiest transformers ever. Stainless steel, copper coil. Man, I'm golden. I could do transformers like that all day. Alright. The rest of this, that's going to get put with my... That's going to get put with the contacts and breakers I've been saving up. Now let's see this, if we can get these off relatively easy. Oh, duh. Should probably look. There's screws. If I can get them. Now I'll tell you what, these long bits came right on time, man. Piece of brass. Now these ones are true rivets. The only way we're going to get them is to drill them out. Oh, I can't twist. I really need to stop using my right arm for a while. every time I feel like it's healing, I do something dumb, like use it, and it starts hurting again. Nice little chunk of brass right there. That still does have a little bit of metal. I'll throw that right with the shred. Wrong hand. All right. If I drilled it out all the way, it'd come right off. There we go. A little bit of dust. Well, there you have it. We actually recovered a nice little chunk of prepared steel, some shred, nice little chunk of number 2 copper, a little bit of stainless, a little bit of aluminum, some contact switches. We'll just weigh them as shred, and a little bit of brass. I could probably clean that up a little bit more. Then I'll gather all the parts up. We'll see if it was actually worth breaking down, or should we have just sold it off as shred? Oh, come on. Okay. Chunk of brass. Again, I'd like to thank the subscriber that sent me these flathead bits. They actually sat, they were at my mailbox for a little, couple days. My editor lives like a block from my mailbox, but my mailbox is like 45 minutes from me, so they always bring me my mail when they come get videos and drop videos off. But they were in Texas, and they actually sent me a video of a scrapyard in fire in Texas. So if anyone's from Texas and your scrapyard burned down, leave a comment in the comment section. Looked like it was a pretty serious fire. These little things I'm taking off, I have no problem throwing them in with the number 2 copper. Now I'm going to weigh the number 2, but the ones with the silver contacts, that's all going to get saved up, because we're going to have a massive silver contact recovery going on here. So all this stuff, these things, these eyelets, to me that's all number 2 copper. As long as you get most of the wire off, I'm not too much worried about the plastic. Not really enough of it to make a difference. Probably not even going to weigh a little bit of brass, but we'll get this dialed in. So give me a minute, I'll get this stuff weighed up, and then we'll see if it was worth it. Okay, so let's get this stuff weighed up. We're back onto the new GoPro, and it didn't shut off because it got hot. It shut off because it ran out of battery, which is a good sign. All right, shred, 10.24 pounds. Number 2 insulated, 0.77. Brass, 0.44. Stainless steel, 0.55. Sheet aluminum, 0.55. Now I'm going to do prepared in 2 buckets, 18.51 and 35.59. And then my favorite, the number 2 copper, 12.78. Now I'm not sure what they'll buy these giant nuggets of silver for if I removed them. But I am just going to save these. I have a bucket right here, matter of fact, that is just chock full of all kinds of silver stuff that I've been saving. There's some big nuggets down in there. You know, that's a whole big piece of silver. We got stuff like this. Big fat boys, you know. So we're just gonna throw all that in there for now. And then one day we'll do a silver recovery video. We'll pull it all off. Now I know some people said that some of that silver has other stuff in it, and scrap yards might not like it. I just want to make a silver bar. And then what I'll do is we'll pour the silver and I'll take it to Miami and have him shoot it with his gun, the x-ray gun, and see what is actually inside of it. So for now, I'm gonna run these numbers, see if it was worth scrapping that. Now it took me maybe an hour, but I was filming, messing with cameras. I could tell you for sure that if I just sat there and tore that down, I could have had that apart in 20 minutes, you know, around 20 minutes, 30, let's just say 30 minutes. So let's see what we got out of that and if it was actually worth spending the time doing that. Okay, here are the numbers for that. We had 82 pounds. Now, if I would have just sold that off as is, it would have been shred, 7 cents a pound. I could have easily just got $5.74. Since we broke it down, we got 71 cents for shred, $4.86 for prepared steel, 96 cents for brass, 30 cents for the aluminum. Now that right there, we're already above that mark. 71 cents for the number 2 insulated, 19 cents for the stainless steel, and 42.17 for the number 2 copper, for a total of $49.90. Now if we deduct the what we could have got without doing anything, that's a difference of $44.16. Now I couldn't see that if someone was just scrapping that out take more than 30 minutes. So let's just say, I mean, I could have probably done that in 20 if I was just zipping that thing apart. It really did kind of come apart pretty easy. The hardest part was drilling the brass. And I mean, it really, I mean, we're talking, you know, we gained 96 cents drilling the brass. So it's not even really worth it. At $44.16, times that by 2 for an hourly rate of $88.32. That's on the higher end of the micro scrapping we've been doing. We've been averaging between $50 and $70. That's $88 an hour you can make breaking those down. That's not bad. Now those switches, I believe that's just an automatic, an old school automatic transfer switch. And that actually came apart pretty easy. Now, we will be taking these big nuggets. I mean, these are some big nuggets, man. We will be pulling that silver off and adding it to the hoard. So stay tuned for a silver recover video and a massive micro scrap. I still have to clean the table off. We just got inundated with some other things. And it's hard to see, but I've been working on my car out there. We had an issue with that. To add to our pile of contact switches, now if you notice this looks similar to that thing I broke down the other day that had those 400 amp breakers on it. But this one here, it's hard to see. These are 1200 amp breakers. And there's a huge plate of copper down there, some bus bar. Now this is basically, I want to assume, almost the same thing. This is just a transfer switch. It's transferring the power from one thing to the other. Actually, I don't know what that thing was I just took apart. Leave a comment below if you know what it is. I think it's just an older version of what that is. But now, instead of using those, what look to be like transfer contacts, or whatever they were, they're using actual breakers now. Or maybe that was just a big giant, maybe that's just a giant contact switch. I don't know. Very interesting stuff. So leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Would you have broken that down? Would you have just sold it off? Me personally, I love the copper nuggets, man. And honestly, it really wasn't that much work. A little tedious with the flatheads, where I had to break them loose with the big screwdriver. But I think what I need to do is, unfortunately, up my flathead game. I used to have somewhere like a socket set of big boy flatheads like this. You know, giant ones. This is a big flathead I got from Harbor Freight. But you can get these on like something I could put on that big impact driver. That's what we're gonna need. But I do really appreciate the subscriber that sent me these bits. These were super useful. The fact that they're you know, really deep, it was perfect for that job. They couldn't have come at a better time. So, oh, and I never even weighed. We still had this stuff here, and there might be some screws laying on the ground somewhere that I didn't pick up. So if the weights were slightly off, it is what it is. But for the most part, we got a little hardware in there. We're gonna save washers and whatnot, and then the little switches that were in the shred, we're going to throw in our contact bucket. We're going to be doing a massive silver recover video here soon. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Watch it. Look, it's dancing. You ever seen your copper dancing before?